Okay, so Andrei, is there more to this story, or that's the structure as you see it? Yes, there are some dubious pathways around here. These 7 elements are colored by the rainbow. You have the contrasting colors, contrasts like red, green, orange, light blue, yellow, purple. That's very abstract, more concise, of course. A good symbol for love is the rose, but the rose also have spine. When you want to depict the feeling of home, you might go into drawing a tree, a sturdy tree, if the home is proper. So it's rooted, but at the same time, it breathes life. Now, orange, light blue, what does that mean? So the second type sophistics, the final ones, light blue, the fifth element, creativity. So the way that I dress isn't directly sexual, but it's some sort of a representation of me as a mammal. So there is a correlation between creativity and the instinctual side. Now, every one of these contrasting colors is a Venn diagram. So you have part that's only sexual and instinctual, part that's only in your mind, and a combination which you could call pseudo-sexual. For the anger and focus, element 3, aggression. 6, focus. If you were to mimic somebody that's very focused, you would do something like this. Why? It's not only focus, it's focus plus aggression. It's aggression channeled into focus. So you're not aggressive about somebody, your aggression is channeled to your focus, and that's how you're best focused. People in martial arts use that. They channel this aggression and they are disciplined. Okay, I see where you're going with that. Is there something else? There's another weird pathway. There are 2 pathways on the inside at each elemental level. Let me give you an example. You go do a deadlift. The bar is not doing anything. You're not in any danger. So you somehow summon something inside you in order to do it. What do? First level, basal instinct, urgency. Now. I have to do this now. So you create this quasi-anxious state of now. Where are your pleasures? Second instincts. Well, you're like this. You don't feel any pleasure. You can get slapped on the back. You won't feel it. Okay. Aggression, compassion. Well, obviously, aggression fourth. Compassion is not 0, so you're not a psychopath, but it's way back. Expression. People generally tend to growl or yell when they do such a lift. They tend to do that because it's the expression outwards. Where is your knowledge? At the 6th level, the hard mind. Are you thinking about where should I put my hand? Or no. Those things are already taken care of. By the time you're in front of the bar, you're ready to roll. So you already know. At the logic level, it's passive. So you have this interplay of element of expression, knowledge. And high at the perception level, you are doing this thing for a greater reason, whatever that might be, your self-improvement or performance. And I'm guessing that goes the other way around, right? Well, yes, this is being industrious. This is doing, extreme doing. Now, on the orderliness side, so the opposite pathway, let's start from the baseline. You want order. Order is something that is. Order is passive. Order is or isn't. So you have the first level taken care of. Second level, here you are creating a pleasant environment for yourself. I have these walls here and I'm warm and I'm not dying, but I also want to enjoy a smell or a texture or some good food. Second level instincts. Fourth, on the emotional side, it's passive confidence. So I met an old lady in the countryside and she never complained. She lived all by herself. She had a very small pension, but she had that stoic, I don't complain about things, for an emotional spine on the heart, on the compassion front. Think about a mother, like my mother was doing most of the work in house. She was creating this order out of care. I see where you're going with this. So when you're trying to create order in your relationship, you have to listen. So on the soft skills, creative mind, they are in the same neighborhood. They're not the same thing, but they are in the same neighborhood of the mind. You are listening so that you can, now we are going to the hard mind, so you can process. Imagine having a tractor and it breaks down. You have to think. Okay, you're not listening to the tractor, but you're aware of it and you're thinking what could have gone wrong. And in an overall perception, high-level order brings a sort of I'm not alone in the world. It doesn't have to be spiritual, religious, agnostic, or atheist. It's a general thing. Wait a second. So you're saying that being religious and atheistic is the same thing? That doesn't make any sense. If you think logically, this is how perceptions work. On the inside, on the passive side, people who are religious say things like, I am a child of God. Agnostics say, I am a part of the universe. Atheists say, I am a part of humanity. they are all the same. Their specific form morphs, but the idea of perceptions remains the same. If you feel abandoned by humanity, you're suicidal. If you feel abandoned by God, you're suicidal. If you feel that you're some sort of a speck of dust into the universe, at the end of that tunnel, it's bad. So that's on the inside. You're saying there's a yang to it, right? Yes, this is how it works. Do you believe that humanity has a way forward? Well, yeah, this is almost the exact same perception as thinking that there is an afterlife, that thinking there is a reincarnation cycle. There is something greater than you after your life. This is very easily seen in having kids. This idea of the afterlife is something like, I'm not gonna live forever. My kids, hopefully, will outgrow me. And there is something more after me. There is something more than my own conscious, which is very similar to the idea of reincarnation or hell, heaven. So they're, in a sense, pretty much the same. People bicker around because they think about holy text as plain text. I'm a programmer. I don't think like that. So let me tell you a little story. Okay, you're going on a tangent here, but I'm listening. So all text, ancient texts that remain through time, are not to be read literally. You have two fronts. You have logical people, which read the text, oh, this guy walked on water, wrong. At the other side, yes, that totally happened, miracle exists. Both are, in a sense, both are wrong, fundamentally. The idea here is, what can I learn from it? So understanding is comprised out of applied knowledge, applied prisms. If you read the stories from the Bible, that's a prism. For example, the story of the resurrection. It has nothing to do with a literal resurrection. Let me give you an example of a prism. You get resurrected every morning, because every morning your RAM shuts down. While you sleep, it shuts down, and then you have to remind yourself, what am I gonna do today? That's a version. Another version, having your first proper child. You went from developing yourself, and your path was important in order to get ready for another thing. Your path in life doesn't abruptly end. It's more of a morph. These are examples of how you can use ancient texts in order to increase your philosophical understanding. It has very, very, very little to do with literal stuff. Whew, that was pretty intense, Andre. As far as I understand, you call this a hierarchy of the meaning of life. You call this system of 7 elements the tower. Why do you call it the tower? If you put it on paper, actually, it kind of resembles a tower.